All right, greetings, man. It's been a while. I've been away for a while, man. I've been dealing with things, as you guys know already. My first ever book release, guys. We already announced this now. The official name now, Long Live the King. We've announced this now. You guys know it's coming. Spring 2022, man. Be on the lookout, man. For my first ever book release. So now, I want to deal with a few things right here. So first we want to start off now with this Eternals now. So if I finally got to see this movie Eternals now, I really want to break this down to you. So now, my first impression of me, obviously, it's getting a lot of bad reviews now, a lot of people are giving it bad reviews and stuff. But my first impression is really, it wasn't a bad movie overall. It wasn't a bad movie from dealing with obviously the occult perspective. It wasn't a bad movie, but obviously, dealing with other things as far as the totality of what Marvel have given us, it wasn't a full rounded movie. It wasn't a full rounded movie, but I understand that, again, based on the nature and based on what they had to do, again, it's not really an Avengers. You know what I'm saying? I could have rounded off an Avengers movie. You know what I mean? So again, it wasn't as rounded off as an Avengers movie because they have so much more material to draw from. But with this one, I was splicing things together and this and that. So again, I understand why that may have been, but it wasn't a full rounded movie. So again, let's deal with this. So we'll be starting with this. Okay, so let's start off with the setting. So the setting of the movie now, again, they go to Mesopotamia. So obviously we're dealing with the Sumerian culture right there. Modern day Iraq, we're dealing with that culture. You see, that's what we're dealing with. So that's really what it is. So now obviously they're dealing with obviously Anunnaki, they're dealing with all of that, Nibiru and all of that. That's really weird. That's really the angle that they're going with. But see, what I didn't like, my first impression what I didn't like about the movie was because again they was dealing with obviously what the Eternals were dealing with, helping out humanity, helping out mankind. But what I didn't like about it though, my first impression what I didn't like was how the subtle undertone that they were sneaking in there as far as these Anunnaki essentially were giving man technology. That's what I didn't necessarily like about it, because again, that's not necessarily what I would agree with, but then they kind of cleaned it up. So on one level, they're talking about giving the mankind technology, giving man technology, but then there's another level that they laid on top of that, where they showed the black guy. You know what I'm saying? So again, they showed the black guy now, and he was the one now dealing with it now and again. So they cleaned it up. So we gotta give them points for that. They cleaned it up. The black guy. You know what I'm saying? They cleaned it up. So we gotta give them points for that. But again, now here's really where now the movie really takes off now as you move forward with it now. And there's one thing we have to mention. I can't wait to get to that point, but before we get to that, we have to mention now. So again, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie already. Basically, the plot twist was again these Eternals. Now, see, at first I thought the Eternals dealing with like some demiurges, but really that's actually they were dealing with some chaos stuff. Some chaos beings, and we're gonna explain that to you again. These Eternals. So, what was actually happening was that they spoke of now, basically the plot twist was that they were actually sent to Earth to actually essentially allow the population to grow, really for the emergence and the emergence. See, with this one now, again, they didn't even try and normally they give different names and they try and do different things, different names. But in this one, they just gave it straight to you. They straight up said to you, mind. They straight up gave it to you. This is what they did. So really, just for that alone, there's points once again. So again, they just straight up said Tiamat. So the emergence really was the emergence of Tiamat. And they said it's this inevitable thing that happens every world, every creation, this emergence of Tiamat. But now, so again, the Eternals they were actually helping that. And then their memories were getting erased and all this other stuff, and they didn't realize. And then Athena, right, was actually remembering the stuff, and they said she thought she was going crazy, but really she was remembering the stuff. You see, this is what was taking place. So again, this Tiamat, but we're going to come back to that, right? So now here's what I really wanted to focus on. Here's where it is. So now there's one thing they said in the movie, and again, this really I've said this years ago, but people didn't understand, and you had these guys dealing with it. But again, this is full proof. So they said in the movie, right, that Thanos, right, when he did that, right, he actually delayed the emergence, guys. He delayed the emergence. So all those guys now, and it's funny because, and it's kind of funny, but sad at the same time. I told you Negroes this, that Thanos was not despite his name being Titan, that's got nothing to do with us. But again, Negroes was dealing with it. They got the masks and this and that and this, and they got the toys out. Again, Negroes was heavily invested into this. But really, they was dealing with demiurge, and I told you this. He's delaying the emergence. But if the emergence is Tiamat, and Tiamat, again, we guys know, again, the Great Dragon and all that, and the Fall and all this other stuff that Bobby's been dealing with so many years, if that's what that really is, and he's delaying that, and I told Negroes this, but again, you were still dealing with it. Negroes were heavily invested in it. So really, you guys was dealing with demiurge this whole time. And again, you know, it's sad, but again, I told Negroes this. It's demiurge, and you guys were still dealing with it. You know, you guys were still dealing with it. But again, it is what it is. So again, that was demiurge. It was a creation story. This is what I was saying. This is what I said. Dealing with the quarks and all this other stuff, it was a creation story. Straight from the Rig Veda. There's one scene in the movie straight from the Rig Veda. I told you this. But again, Negroes were still dealing with it. So that really is the icing on the cake for me. You know, which makes it, again, a fantastic movie, really, for me. You know, despite the negative reviews. So now, again, so now we're going back to the Tiamat aspect now. The part that I didn't agree with, again, how, you know, but again, it's also, we're going to touch on this in the next episode. We're going to touch on this. There was dealing with the rings. So we can't speak on it yet. We got the next episode. There was, you know, so again, what happened was, again, the black guy now, again, he had to invent some technology now. He had to deal with some stuff, do some reverse engineering now to be able to get this Unimind now, you see, with this Tiamat. But they wanted to kill Tiamat, which I didn't necessarily agree with, because you can't actually do that. But again, this is what they mentioned in the movie, right? But, so they essentially killed Tiamat, but really she put it on ice. You see, that to find a point of emergency, and she put it on ice or whatever. You see, but then I like how they mentioned at the end of the movie now, how they were actually connected to Tiamat. They was connected to it, you see. And actually, when these emergencies happen, this is why they survive, because they're actually connected to it. So really, the Eternals, they're actually chaos beings. Really and truly, because they're connected to the emergence, the Tiamat and all that. They're actually chaos beings, you see. That's really what it comes down to. So originally I thought they was dealing with some archons, maybe some demiurge and all that, but then based on the plot twist, I like the way they did it. That's really what that was. But again, I understand why people didn't like the movie, because again, it was all kind of all over the place, you know, the deviants and all that, and they started talking, and then they started going after this guy and Icarus, and it was just all over the place. It was just all over the place. But it was there. So again, as far as, so again, from an occult perspective, it was a fantastic movie because they gave it to you. They didn't sugarcoat, they didn't change the names or nothing. They just gave you the names right there. They gave you the mythology right there. So it was brilliant on that aspect. But from a Marvel's perspective, it wasn't their greatest, because again, it wasn't a full rounded story. As we mentioned, it was all over the place. The deviant, he started talking and all this other stuff. So it was all over the place. But as from the mythological aspect, they gave it to, it's all there. You see, they didn't change the names or nothing. It's all there. You know, so yeah, it was fantastic. You know, it was fantastic. So again, man, just a quick one right here. You know, but again, stay tuned for the next episode. Now we're back to back. We're back to back with this. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took some good information from this. All right, people. Thanks for watching.